Hey yo everyone and welcome. I'm your friend Art of Mana and let's dive into the 707th stream, episode 4 of a few of my favorite games. Today I'm going to be playing Kirby's Dream Land. I love Kirby's Dream Land. It's an easy game after the last stream, which was Spelunky. And Spelunky, you know, I've got my nights. Last stream was not my night. It was fine. It was, you know, everything, we had fun. That's the point, right? You know, this is a comfort food game. In fact, it's the game that I coined the phrase comfort food games around. Yet, boy, it's tough as nails, and we just did not end up beating it. So this is a nice cool down. We're going to be playing Kirby's Dream Land for the Game Boy, and I've played it enough times to know that I can do it, and I can do it pretty quickly. It's not a challenging game, especially once you've done it a couple of times. But that's part of the appeal and part of the enjoyment factor of the Kirby franchise. If you're not familiar with Kirby, then you probably haven't been following Nintendo very closely. Kirby is one of the standout Nintendo characters. One which Sakurai, who is most well known these days probably for the Smash series, the Smash Brothers series, actually developed. And so Kirby's Dream Land is the first in the franchise, which goes on to today, developed by HAL Laboratories, a company that is a third-party, a second-party Nintendo developer. So first party would be, real internal. HAL Laboratories is like the next step where they work really closely in conjunction with Nintendo. And then you have your third parties, which would be, your Capcoms and Konamis back in the 8 and 16-bit days. Those were the ones that you probably are most familiar with, right? But Kirby's sort of been a mainstay in the platforming world for a long time and is often kind of considered to be an entry point for video gaming, especially for platforming, because there are a lot of really nice elements to the game that makes it accessible for new players. And I remember the first time I ever played this game, or anything in the Kirby franchise, it was actually with Kirby's Adventure for the NES. And I'd already, I cut my teeth. Is that the phrase? Cut my teeth? That doesn't seem right. Cut my teeth on platforming with Mario. I'm going to look this up. Memory Martin, welcome on in. Let me see. Cut my teeth. Is this a thing? Expression. Is this right? Get one's first experience by doing. Yeah. Or learning early in life. As in, I cut my teeth on this kind of layout, etc., etc. This is from dictionary.com. Okay, cool. I used it right. Anyway, it's a weird phrase. I never really thought about it before. I don't think I've really said it out loud. But yeah, Kubi's Dreamland. Memory Martin. I fail. Yes. Kirby's Dreamland indeed. We are playing Kirby's Dreamland. So the first game in the franchise was Kirby's Adventure for me. And again, I had cut my teeth on Mario, so I was very familiar with platforming in general. And I remember that what I appreciated then about Kirby's Adventure was the mechanic of copying the different abilities, which is what Kirby's really well known for. You could copy the abilities of enemies, and suddenly you could have a laser sword, or you could have fire breath, or you could throw bombs. I mean, all kinds of things. And in more recent games, you could actually combine different abilities, and you can do all sorts of things. There's a lot of depth in that mechanic. Christmas sweater, yeah, right, Animate Barrel. Welcome on in, Animate Barrel. Actually, I really do want to show this one off. I'll show it off in a second. But in any event, this game has none of that. This game is a very simple platformer by comparison. You can float, which is nice and handy. You fly around, and so pits don't become so much of the problem. Instead, what you can do, though, is you can expel air, or you can suck in enemies and eat them to dispatch of them or dispose of them. And so that becomes the main mechanic of this game. It's how do you clear your path with these different abilities. It's not really a challenging platformer in the sense of making jumps and traversing, but it's more about the best path through based on flying and expelling your air, which you need to do to get rid of enemies, but then that also means you fall. It's a very different kind of Kirby game. I like it. So I went back, I got a Game Boy, and I bought this game and Harvest Moon Game Boy for $5 from someone no one listen in middle school. Okay, dating myself. And so I ended up getting both of those games, both fantastic games, by the way. Harvest Moon being one absolutely that I would put on my list of favorite games. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Kirby's Dream Land ended up becoming one where at first I was like, oh, this isn't as good as Kirby's Adventure. And then later I realized, oh, it's a really nice bite-sized game I can return to it again and again. And that's the name of this series, right? It's a few of my favorite games. It's games that I can just come back to and again and enjoy them. So that's it. And exactly, Memory Martin. This was the first one before HAL gave Kirby the copy ability. Now, Christmas sweater is what I recall here was mentioned in chat. I think this sweater is deserving of a little bit of showing off. So, the reveal. What do you think? What do you think? How is that, huh? That should be pretty funny. Romantic. It's romantic Yeti. It's more like it's Bigfoot. You know, I'm in the Pacific Northwest. It's Bigfoot. Okay, little mistletoe. You know, little rose. Yeah, Bigfoot's. Yep, that's a Christmas sweater. Memory Martin says. Indeed. So I thought it would be fun. It's great. Animate Barrel says, I thought it'd be fun to bust something out kind of goofy for this. I mean, we're playing Kirby. And I feel like when you play Kirby, you shouldn't necessarily take yourself too seriously. Just enjoy what you're doing, you know? Enjoy the game. Enjoy the ride. So we're going to get cozy in our big comfortable sweater here. And let's go ahead and get to the game, shall we? So, thanks for indulging me, everybody. Animate Barrel, how's your day been? Memory Martin. Actually, I'm going to give a shout out to Memory Martin. I think Memory Martin is, if you don't know, Memory Martin has been such a supporter, as really we joke about Secretary of Mana, but it's so true. Memory Martin has helped so much in this stream, in this channel, and actually streams themselves. So if you want to check out a really comfortable, cozy atmosphere, Memory Martin is someone who really enjoys Pokemon, and we've done collaborations and things, Animal Crossing, lots of different stuff. And she's been such an amazing person to get to know, and I really am thankful for all of the help. And so I just want to kind of give some shout outs and some love towards Memory Martin. Often taking all kinds of hits for me, doing all the dirty work around here and helping out. So thank you so much again for all your support. And Dark Solid X, hey Dark Solid X, welcome on in. How are you doing? Good to have you here, my friend. Another streamer, actually, more on the PlayStation side of things, and a lot of the big RPGs and grand adventures, that kind of stuff. Solid, so good to see you. Now, you know, I am gonna do something here, actually, in a moment. Let me adjust something. I didn't even think about this until just now, but I am gonna just adjust something here. You know, I came from work, I kind of had dinner, and ended up not having a whole lot of time here, so let me just fix something I didn't even realize I needed to fix until now. You probably won't even notice it, but it's gonna bother me. So Dark Solid X says, man, and guess what? Solid. Oh, and we gotta talk about Street Fighter. Hang on. I'll be right back. 1 second. Talk amongst yourselves. What? And thank you for that shout out for Solid there, Memory Martin. What's the happenings, Dark Solid X? What's the happity haps? Give me just a moment. I'm almost ready here. Just about. Go. My friend finally finished his fight pad design. I posted it on Twitter. It looks cool and it'll help out with fighting games. Oh, I can't wait to see that. That sounds awesome. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I seriously can't wait to check that out. You're, I'm sure, well aware that Dark Solid X is a really fantastic fighting game player. So, oh gosh, that's super cool. That is super, super cool. Okay, and I'm ready here to do a little bit of playing. And so let's get into it, shall we? I'm doing well, by the way, Memory Martin. I'm doing well. And Solid, if you wouldn't mind maybe dropping a link for that fight pad here in the chat, that'd be cool. Silver Soffer's here. Welcome on in. Let's go in. Stage 1, Green Greens. Okay. and a very classic song here. Silver Soffer, what's up? Hey, I'm doing well. Today was a good day. It was very low key. And we get to be playing some Kirby here, which, I mean, you just can't really beat that. So you can already tell there's a few little tricks there. See, I've just used 2 methods to dispose of enemies. This was also before the double dash, you know, where you could tap a direction twice and run, which is a staple in Kirby games now, but was not then. Oops. You can also see here that I almost utilized another method to dispose of enemies, which is just simply to chuck a star, see, like that. So that would be if you were to capture an enemy, but not actually eat it completely, just sort of swallow it. These are our life potions there. We haven't actually taken any hits yet, so we're good there. Yeah, I mean, this game, what can I say? It is the genesis of what I think is a really fun series, and I'm really excited that we're seeing a 3D Kirby coming to the Switch here soon with, what is it called? Forgotten World? I can't wait. Dark Solid X says, I didn't know that you were a big Kirby fan. Oh, you know, I really am actually, Solid. I was mentioning, I think just before you came, that the first game I played was Kirby's Adventure, and that came out late in the NES's lifespan. And, oops, that was just a mistake on my part, because I am playing on the Game Boy player, so I'm using a GameCube controller, and the directional pad sometimes can be a little less precise than I would maybe want it to be. But, yeah, no, that game, Kirby's Adventure, I picked up when we had moved, and we'd actually moved to a different state, and there was a shop, a store that we went to for just some various home improvement type things, I believe. It was, you know, I can't remember if it was like a Sears or something like that, you know. It was one of those sort of multi-purpose stores that you don't really see much these days, and believe it or not, they had a video game section. And I remember there weren't too many games there, but there was this brand new NES game, and we were well into the Super Nintendo era, and I had a Super Nintendo, but it was like, well, yeah, let's play this. And I picked up Kirby, and it was like, whoa, this is great. And yeah, Kirby is a series that I definitely enjoy to this day. I don't always play everything. I'm always kind of late to the party. I'm still not familiar with the sort of fighting games that are on the Switch, the ones that were download only. And I also believe I missed out on the second 3DS game, so I'm still kind of missing a couple of these. But I do enjoy playing them. I try to pick them up as soon as I can, you know, sort of as maybe a second or third level interest. You know, maybe after some Zelda or some Mario Kart or things like that, you know. But I've enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed this franchise for a good long time. And this game, as I was mentioning at one point, it was one that I first became familiar with after purchasing the game from someone, you know, basically like a playground purchase. And I got this and Harvest Moon. I believe I paid $5. So there you go. Hey, all kinds of people here. Look at this. If I get hold on a second. Oh my gosh, so much stuff. Let me Actually, we should be safe here for a moment. Oh, just kidding. Dark Solid X says that this person who was helping with the fight pad invited Dark Solid X to join his team and is going to get a personalized prototype. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. And there's the link. I'm going to pop that open so I have it. And then we've got Silver Soffer saying, I have 2 weeks to get enough to join FaZe. To get good enough to join FaZe. Is that a team on Fortnite? If I get in, it's a 5,000 a month and 10,000 V-Bucks. Oh my gosh. Witty Kendra's here. How are you doing, Witty Kendra? Shout outs to you, my friend. Scooter's spouse, Witty Kendra, who is an amazing streamer and super chill and has been recovering from being sick. So glad to have you here. Nexo's here. Nexo Phoenix Gaming. Sorry I've been gone. Finals week has consumed all my energy. Anyways, I gotta get back to studying, but I just wanted to stop by, say hello. Absolutely, absolutely. So good to see you, Nexo Phoenix Gaming. Enjoy your lurk, or if you're not lurking, just thank you for stopping in, saying hello, and please do know that I wish you the very best. God bless you with your finals. Hope you do really well, and study hard. Most importantly, make sure to take care of yourself. You can only do so much. So make sure to eat and drink well. Make sure that you sleep well, all that good stuff. And then Chrono comes in, casually into chat with his new Switch OLED, when all of a sudden Kirby's comes out of nowhere, sucks it in and swallows it. Oh no! But did you happen to get an OLED? Excuse me, what now? If that's true, how cool is that? But welcome on in, Chrono. And then Silver Soffer, I wish you the best on getting into that clan on Fortnite. That's very cool. I have been playing actually every night. I, again, didn't expect to get into Fortnite, but I have. And, you know, I think for a lot of folks who know me primarily through streaming and what I stream, it's probably a little surprising when when I sort of showcase things that maybe they didn't realize I was into. I play a lot of different games. There's a lot that you might not even realize that I'm into. I'm kind of lost in this area here. Let's see. There we go. And among them, you know, Fortnite, I would say I really didn't expect to enjoy it, and yet I have. Oh, it's interesting here. I wonder if maybe I should go for that. You know, and I've talked before about, oddly enough, you know, Bayonetta. I really actually quite enjoyed playing Bayonetta, which I think some of you would be shocked to hear. It's definitely a mature game. It's one of the few mature games that I like to play. Rated M, you know. I tend not to play a lot of those games, but Seth, this isn't a Game Boy Color game, Seth says. You know, admittedly, that's true. I have thought about at some point creating a Game Boy overlay with the original Game Boy. However, I actually grew up playing these games on a Game Boy Color. I didn't have a classic DMG until much later. And actually, I still don't really have one. I actually bought one used, and I think I overpaid for it. And it needs some work. And it's actually one of the few things I actually really ought to retro-bright. And I think that will be a video at some point, and I just haven't done it. So it kind of sits there, and I don't really use it. But, yeah, I mean, other than borrowing my friend's DMG, I was always playing on the Game Boy Color, so, you know, once I had a Game Boy, that is, right? So, oh, I thought that was going to allow me to do stuff, but I guess not. Oh, that's what it allows me to do. Okay, gotcha. There we go. Woo. And you still think you have your black Game Boy Pocket somewhere around here, Dark Solid X says. Nice. How are things going for you? Woody Kendra asks. They're going well. I've kind of been a little bit achy today. Just like not feeling my best. I actually had a little bit of a headache at one point, and it went away. I think I had just needed to eat something. But my day was good. Work went well. It was over, pretty quickly. All that good stuff. I really am appreciative of my current work. It's very interesting because it's not really in my field. Oh, Scooter, thanks for that host. But I also don't have to take work home with me, and that's nice. My hours are, always the same. But I've got great people to work with and great supervisors, and and it's good. I get good interaction with people, and I feel like I get to do some good stuff. I was actually talking to Mana Sprout, and I'm not a doctor, and Mana Sprout at dinner just sort of unsolicited said, well, I think that what you do isn't as important as being a doctor or a nurse. And I I kind of had to swallow my pride. It's like the thing that only a little kid could say, right? Scooter says, I admit I didn't expect to see this game. Really? I'm actually curious to know why you say that. Dark Solid X was also someone who was surprised by this. And all I could say is, there are a lot of games that I actually love that I've never streamed. And so, yeah. I expected a Kirby game. I didn't know which one, Memory Martin said. Aha, so there we go. I definitely could put Kirby's Adventure in here as well. But I think that with Kirby's Adventure, it's a much longer game. And so I tend to only pick it up to play every so often, where this one I'm really inclined to just grab from time to time because it is so short. Sometimes it's just nice to play a fun, short game. So, keep it simple. But yeah, Mana Sprout, she's just telling me, I don't think that it's that, as important. And I'm like, I gotta swallow my pride. Kids say the darndest thing, all that. And I say, and I'm thinking about it, kind of trying to come up with my response and formulate my thoughts. And I said, well, without what I do, folks wouldn't be able to really see the doctors and folks that can really help heal them. And so the role that I play to make sure that people are able to get the help they need is important. And I talked about humility, and I said, that there are a lot of different things we can do in the world, lots of different jobs, and I probably could go to school and get trained to be a doctor or a nurse. But I also know that I don't feel like that's something I'd be really good at or that I want to do. I don't feel called to do it. It doesn't seem like something that I would really be a good fit for. And I seem to be a pretty good fit at what I'm doing right now. I seem, not to be egotistical, but I seem to be pretty good at it. And so being a part of something in that way, being able to help in that way is really important. And sometimes we just need to help out in the way that we can. Now, of course, accompanied with all this, I have thought a lot about some of the frustrations with just work in general and insurance and and what sorts of employment, or what sorts of jobs make tons and tons of money and what makes none, if you've been following Twitter, there have been people releasing their salaries and whatnot, and it's been really eye-opening, and some of it, but also some of it surprising still. And when you hear that there are people that are on freight ships that are staring out a window for most of their job, and they make 6 figures easily, and then you hear teachers who are spending well more than their 8-hour days and working really hard and purchasing supplies out of their own money, making maybe 20. It seems really messed up, and I to this day have a really interesting relationship with sports. I actually was able to hang out with my brother-in-law and my dad the other day watching a hockey game. So we were trying to see a Kraken game because Seattle has a new hockey team, the Kraken. And I actually quite like hockey. I played a little when I was younger, and even though I'm not really a big sports guy, like a sports ball guy, I do enjoy hockey. I hadn't seen it for a long time. Before this game, I still hadn't seen a game where they had the sudden death was now a 3v3, limited, was it 6 minute, I think it is now, sudden death, and then actually the game we watched had that, and then the shootout afterwards, which was really exciting. But it wasn't the Kraken game because of blackouts, and I was like, what? Again, how easy it should be to be able to watch a game, and but apparently I didn't even know this was a thing because I've not paid for cable or sports things for for any part of my life, and but they blacked out. Oh no, first death. Was not paying attention. They blacked out the ability for us to actually watch the series because you needed some local network kind of thing. So we ended up watching Calgary Flames versus the Anaheim Ducks, which was actually a great game. And then they showed the ticker, and you could see how the Kraken were doing. They won their game too. It was really a lot of fun. My brother-in-law and my father and I were just enjoying that, hanging out, doing some bro time, eating pizza and all that good stuff. But I really do have a hard time with professional sports because these athletes make so much money, and it just, same thing as with streaming. Like, I would love for streaming to be a great source of income, or maybe even it could be my primary or only source of income. But it's hard to justify that if I'm in the top 1% of streamers, according to some statistics, and you've got one or two that can be making millions, and making triple digits in a month, and then you've got me still in the 1%. I don't make 6 figures in a month, and I'm making I'm making not triple digits in a month, that kind of thing. It's like, wow, that's a pretty interesting comparison, right? So anyways, this is all really me just rambling at this point, but it was an interesting thing. It was on my mind, and I thought I would share it with all of you. So there you go. You've heard some thoughts of mana right now. Wait, my cousin just got called up to the Red Wings from the minors? Are you kidding me? That's so cool. Oh, that's awesome. Actually, the Red Wings, yeah. I've definitely rooted for them. Absolutely.
Less than 3.
Animate barrel. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for the unicorns and the 100 bits. I really appreciate that. And Dark Solid X says, well, yeah, you can tell your daughter that even if she's not as even if I'm not as helpful as a doctor, everyone on the team is important. That's right. And yeah, Chrono says, even if you're not as important as a doc, you allow the doctor to do their job. That's it, right? A fun short game, you calling Kirby short? Dark Solid X says, I missed that. That's really funny. Scooter saying, Pup's doing well. Chrono's learning more about hockey, but I'm trying to avoid being a fan of the team in the city I live in. Oh, interesting. I won't ask what that team is, but fair. I don't think you have to be a fan of any team just because you're in that city, so no worries. This is a funny little section here. I just realized, ooh, I was making that a little harder than it needed to be. You could just actually hold the button down there. And Memory Martin says, I'm just over the top 5% of Twitch. Cool. That's, see? Actually, I think out of all the people that we have, you know, who we have so many great streamers in our community, actually, it's worth really pointing out that we are kind of at the top of our games. Like, really, we're all doing pretty darn good. So, yeah. Anyway, and did we get a shout out for Seth and Scooter, by the way? Definitely worth shouting them out. I hope, Seth, that you've been doing well. Memory Martin's close to 360 followers. Congratulations. By the way, I suspect this month I won't be I won't be gaining a lot of followers. You know, one thing that to be fair, one of the biggest reasons that I would like to sort of grow is that you do see with a lot of streamers that are bigger, the sheer size tends to draw more folks in rather than when you're smaller. I think the games you play tend to be what draw people in. So if you're not playing something that's really popular, you tend not to grow at all. So like this month, that's kind of been what's been happening. So that's fine. I knew it was going to happen. I'm planning on doing this every December, though, because I think it's just so fun. And I have so many favorite games that it makes a lot of sense. So, top of our games, literally Dark Solid Excess. That's funny. And there's that shout out for Seth. Thank you so much. And Seth, oh, yeah, I got your... What's that? Duh, I just got back to hear you say that, Seth says. Oh, well, that was perfect timing then. Absolutely. Yeah, well, and I mean it. And Seth, one thing I really appreciate about Seth is that he does really, and Scooter too, actually. It's kind of serendipitous they got shouted out together. Both of them tend to just play the games they want to play, and they do find their growth. I found, unfortunately, that it tends to be less likely that I will... have new folks come in when I'm not playing, you know, more popular games. I feel like sometimes that's not true for them, which is great. I don't know. I think they do what they do really well. But I would love to be able to just kind of showcase more of the games that I've got. I've got thousands of games at this point. I'm sure it's at least 2,000 games at this point, if you count digital. So... because my physical collection is about 1,000 games. So I do want to showcase more games. And of course, one nice thing about the format that I'm doing now is that I don't really mind if I don't beat a game. So we didn't beat Spelunky, by the way. But Memory Martin says, hey, Art of Mana, has it arrived yet? Not gonna lie, I'm a little worried it won't make it before Christmas. It has not arrived yet, my friend. And by the way, Animate Barrel, thank you for redeeming that message. Animate Barrel's always redeeming messages just to shout out someone else's message that I've missed. I really appreciate that. By the way, Chronos says, if you were going to teach a class on the history of video games, what games would you use? Let's talk about this in a moment. By the way, Animate Barrel says the old school Sierra PC games. I'm really curious to know about that. Namus is back. The Game Awards finally ended. I definitely want to see more of that. It is emote only mode in the chat, so we're going to go ahead and put this back up, so we can spam those emotes. Did I just hear you say that you need new food? Solid says we got lots of snow here today. My girls are having a hard time settling down for sleep. I do hear you on that. So the history of video games, that's an interesting one. I mean, I think if I were to teach a class on it, I would have to start with okay, let me put it this way. There are actually a lot of things that I think would be worth touching on. But I wouldn't necessarily expend a lot of time on it. I would wrap it into other things. So if I were to kind of hit the key highlights it would start with Pong. And then if I were to kind of use that to describe early video games and then actually arcades as well, I would go to then, from Pong to something like Space Invaders, and then kind of touch on a lot of the clones of that, Galaxian and then Galaga, stuff like that. And then Pac-Man, of course, so kind of the early games, and Donkey Kong. And then that would lead well into consoles and Atari 2600 and the video game Crash of 83, at which point I would hit on Nintendo, and specifically Super Mario Brothers, as what really revived video games in the West. And from Mario and the sort of first 3 Mario games, I would then also bring up some of the other significant platformers and mascot games, so Sonic the Hedgehog and Donkey Kong Country, as sort of really important mascot games, and sort of the rivalry between Mario and Sonic, the rivalry based on different video game platforms. And then with Donkey Kong Country, the rise of CG graphics, which really changed the whole landscape and started to bring in the 3D elements to video gaming. And then I would go for something along the lines of probably Super Mario 64, Crash Bandicoot, and Ocarina of Time and Spyro, as I think 4 key games to really use in talking about the early 3D polygonal gaming. And then from there, I would have to probably talk a bit about I'd probably have to talk about Xbox and Halo and Doom. Doom first, probably, and PC gaming, and I would talk about, sorry, let me jump back. I would talk about platforms that way, but then I would also talk about beat 'em ups in arcades. So that was significant in the 90s, so you have all of that. And then your fighting games, Street Fighter and the like. So beat 'em ups like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and then Street Fighter fighting game. Those would be really important in arcades. Then I would bring up Doom and Wolfenstein for the dawn of first-person shooters. And so then after that, I would bring up Halo, and sort of then the rise of console gaming prominence for Microsoft and Sony. And then I would probably showcase the Wii and games like Wario Land Shake It as early, and A Boy and His Blob as early examples of the revival of 2D and hand-drawn or pixel art games. I probably use Shovel Knight for pixel art revival. And then I would talk about the rise of games as service, using games like Fortnite as an example, and games as artistic platforms, so Minecraft and Roblox. And then I would talk about games as experiences, social experiences, and I would bring up things like Animal Crossing. So that's probably what I would use. Those would be like the big highlights for me, and that would be a semester right there. So yeah. Solid says, I hear a lot of great games, but none of them are scary. Fair enough. Nemu says, man, I'm just saying all of my favorite games. I mean, there's a reason they're popular, you know what I mean? Yeah. You have 1,000 games? Check spreadsheet. I have 530 total, Seth says. Are you talking about physical games? Nice. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking that I can't remember quite when, but yeah, my collection grew a lot. Now, I'll admit that a lot of games were acquired from the PlayStation 2, which I don't tend to play a lot of, but I have a very large PlayStation 2 collection because the games were so dirt cheap. You could pick up games for $1. And so I remember, picking up 30 games at a time for that. So, yeah. Weezlink is here. Hey, Weezlink. And Chrono, with such a great question for anyone who wants to answer. What games would you touch on if you were teaching history of video games? Did I miss anything in my list, by the way? Oh, you got Happy Home Paradise today, Weezlink? Congrats. That's awesome, my friend. That is super awesome. That is so cool. Oh, gosh. By the way, if you haven't caught on here, we are in final boss time. Ooh, yeah. Ooh. Weezlink, so you got a job? And they say video games can't get you a job. But what should I name the school? I thought of HHA school, but I feel like there's something better. It's fair.
Is that a new subscriber? Welcome.
Namus, thank you, my friend.
8 months, Mana. Does this mean I'm officially cool now, and also when the next community day?
You are officially cool, but you were also officially cool the moment you were born. Oh, that's gonna hurt. Yep. Oh, this is not good. Ooh. When is the next community day? It won't be in December, I'm afraid. Just because December is a tough month for people with so much going on. So, oh no, that was not great. So no community day during this month. But yes, when was the last community day? Namus, that's a good question. Ooh, is that gonna get us anything? Nope. I thought of something better since my island is Nintendo. I can name it School of Nintendo. Weezlink, I like that. So how do you like the DLC and everything, by the way? Oh, darn. Shucks. And Scooter says, I'd say Mario Kart 64, Mario Party, and GoldenEye 007 for Essentials of Couch multiplayer. Yes, Scooter. Excellent point. I did miss that. Essentials of Couch multiplayer. I did not cover couch co-op, couch multiplayer. I really, really like that. Very good. That was a blind spot. Yeah. And I mean, I didn't cover racers at all, which I've often said is one of my favorite genres. So, yeah. Shame on me. Yeah, the last community day was probably a few months ago, to be honest. I don't really remember. It's been a little while. I've got to show off my my Christmas sweater, by the way. We'll be doing that a little bit later. Oh man, I don't know why I'm even bothering at this point. This is a boss of a fight of attrition. I mean, I suppose it could be done with one hit. We'll try. So we just gotta avoid stuff like that, right? Game Awards just ended. Weezlink says they gave it Takes Two game. What is it? They gave it Takes Two game of the year. It Takes Two? I don't even know that game. It Takes Two. What is that game? Game of the year. I don't even know it. Never even heard of it. Memory Martin says, hey man, and guess what? What, Memory Martin? I'm curious to know. What is up? What's the happy haps? By the way, I really do want to get a new overlay element for chat. I'm looking at some different options here. I know that one of my Twitch stream teammates has a really cool one. That's Crystal from Selecting Start. Not Selecting Start. From Simply Press Start. Crystal has a really cool new one, or newish one, and I might ask about where that was acquired because it's got a neat look. Dagnabbit. It's got a little like a pop up and it just looks neat. So I'm sad because there was no Slime Ranchers 2 info in the Game Awards. Namu says. Weezlink says it's a couch co-op game about a family that's about to get a divorce, but they get trapped as the daughter's dolls, and they have to work together in order to become humans again. Interesting. Memory Martin says, I'm taking driving lessons in January. Sketch shared that someone is selling crochet Molly plushies on Etsy, and I got the last one. It's also coming in January. That's awesome. Bro, I loved playing the DS versions of Kirby. Namu says, I love Kirby. I'm right there with you. Congratulations, Memory Martin. That's super cool. And Weezlink, I'm glad you're enjoying designing homes. I like that a lot. I can't wait to do more on my island. I've been actually doing a lot of just island maintenance in preparation for some big stuff in future Animal Crossing streams. So it's a very basic explanation of the plot. If you want a better one, you should look it up. Weezlink says, fair enough. Namus is doing a pro gamer move. Okay. It's emote only chat, my friends. Everybody say hi to YouTube. We're gonna beat this. This is the one. This is the one. Woo! This is the one. Ah, shucks. Emotes, spam those emotes. We're gonna do it. No, you don't, King DDD. So I'm super excited for Kirby and was it the Forgotten Lands? Is that what it is? Who here is hyped for that? Some hype in the chat if you're hyped for it. Let me know through emotes how you would emote Kirby in the Forgotten Land. Or Forgotten Lands. I forget the exact title. So there's some hype from Memory Martin. I think Memory Martin is excited for it. Dark Solid X with some rest in peace mushrooms. So I'm not sure if that's hype or lack of hype for Kirby or disappointment in me losing there. So I don't know. We may never know, right? It's really interesting. This fight is actually a really great one in so many ways because, I mean, you do have to memorize some of DDD's patterns, but so much of the fight you can actually just avoid by playing safely, but then you would never get any hits on DDD. So anyway, there we go. That's it, everybody. That's it. We've done it. We have beaten the game. That's some hype right there. That is Kirby's Dream Land for the Game Boy. One of my favorite games for sure. Absolutely worth playing. I could play this again and again. It's a 1-hour speed run, Namu says. And Pikachu Potter, welcome on in. Got the credits there. Yeah, I dig this game. I dig it. It's a good one. So we've just beaten our game Kirby. Say hi to YouTube, everybody. Shortest stream in the West, Namu says. And as a matter of fact, you know, my shortest stream ever was a game that I believe it took me 15 minutes to play. And I did a special bonus stream, and everybody was like, "Whoa, man, is live?" What? This was early on, maybe under 25, under 50 different streams that I've done, and and I played it. It was a little Flash game that I really enjoyed by the creators of the Samrost series, and it was using the Polyphonic Spree band as the, you know, it was basically like a glorified ad for them. And anyways, they I played it, and everyone was like, "Cool!" And I just like ended the stream. All right, that was the game. Bye, everyone. And everyone was like, "What?" One Up John is here. Can we get a shout out for One Up John? I love seeing One Up John's Twitter because they're always sharing great games that they're playing. Fantastic retro streamer. As someone who really does an amazing job of continually coming up with creative, fun, new games to play. and I'm always astonished. So a shout out for One Up John. Thank you so much, Memory Martin, for that shout out. One Up John, someone that you definitely should, or Namus, I guess. Namus and Memory Martin, thank you. If you follow up One Up John, you get an extra life, Weaslink says. Yeah, I'm always impressed because One Up John also pays attention to big, significant anniversaries and things like that. So, yeah, One Up John has played a bunch of Xbox games, I think, most recently, if I'm not mistaken. I do try to keep up to date, but I don't obviously check in on the streams like I wish I did. If I had infinite time, there's so many people I'd be watching. But One Up John, thank you so much for being here. Welcome on in. So in one sense, that could be our stream. And I honestly wouldn't mind it just being our stream, but as you see, there's this extra game we can play, right? Oh, but I did say, yeah, I did say we're going to play this extra game a little bit, but I did say I was going to show you my sweater. So I'm going to actually show you that just so you can see it. There we go. Nemo says, "Oh man, I got an extra game, right?" Yeah, last stream we played for a long time and did not beat our Spelunky game, but we did beat Kirby. That is a weird DK shirt, Seth says. Yeah, it's Donkey Kong. It's just Donkey Kong, you know it. It's a smug Bigfoot Sasquatch holding a mistletoe, Weasling says. Yep. Look, his sweater even got a sweater on, right? Solid. It's Sweaterception. Oh, man. Hey, I'm curious. You know, we had this great question posed by Chrono, and I think One Up John would have some terrific thoughts on it. The question was, if you were going to teach a class on the history of video games, what games would you bring up? I'm really curious to know your thoughts. Please let me know. Yeah, we can go through it again, but I think we got a good list. Especially thanks to Scooter, who mentioned couch co-op games that I had overlooked as a part of my thing. So Superman 64, One Up John says, actually, notoriously bad games would be an interesting topic that could be absolutely worked in. I do like that. I would do Minecraft, Kirby, FF, Mario, Nemu says. Very nice. A nice short list, but you've got some of the key things. You know, I didn't even really talk about RPGs a lot. RPGs could almost be its own thing. You could talk about tabletop RPGs, pen and paper, and then the evolution into the role-playing game with random number generators behind the scenes, and refocus on putting that to the background so that the story can take precedence, and then the development of Western and Japanese role-playing games, and Japanese role-playing games being influenced by Dungeons and Dragons, anime such as what's the real famous fantasy one that was like a dungeon and Dungeons and Dragons campaign. Oh, come on now, I can't remember it, but there's a game actually coming out in that series. Yeah, that would be a really fun one. So, you know, with the elf and the big dwarf dude, and the Parn, I think, is the main character. That's the like knight. Anyway, Weaslink says, well, let's start off with the very first ones, like Pong. Exactly, Pong. Yep, NES Mario, New Legend of Zelda, NES Metroid. The list goes on. Yep. Cronus says, it looks like I just need to create a video game university and hire all of you. Yeah. Dark Slot X says, actually, One Up John, sometimes a bad lesson is a good lesson to not follow. Good point. Memory Martin brings up Pokemon, Mario, Animal Crossing, Xenoblade Chronicles. Yeah, I mean, to kind of rehash what I was saying, and maybe now add a little to it. Now that I've said it once, I can kind of work it out a little bit better. I think I would start with Pong, and because what's the name of the old? Gosh, it was like in a circular screen, and it was this enormous machine, and it was essentially tennis. Can't think of the name of it. Anyway, that was really where video games are purported to have started. Is it Tennis for Two? Tennis for Two. It's Tennis for Two. I think that's it. Tennis for Two on the little right with the circular. Yeah, and it was displayed through real primitive technology. Anyway, so you could kind of start with that. You could talk about, but then I would say, oh yes, it was Tennis for Two, then Space War, then Pong. But I would start with Pong because I could talk briefly about, Tennis for Two and stuff like that. And then all the Pong clones, and then Pong actually was ported to an arcade machine, so it's, or it was, available in arcades. So then I could talk about early arcade games and talk about things like Space Invaders and all of the various things that came out of that, like Galaxian and Galaga. And then, Pac-Man, and then having cutscenes in Donkey Kong. And then that would tie into the Crash. I would talk about the Crash in '83, and then the revival of the American, North American video game market through Nintendo and the NES and Super Mario Brothers. And then I'd talk about, platformers, talk about mascot gaming, which was huge back then. So you could talk about Mario, Sonic, and then how console wars were a thing. And then Donkey Kong Country, which was the first time you started seeing these CGI graphics, which was a early launching point into more 3D games. I would talk about brawlers and fighters in the arcades coming to prominence in the 90s. So specifically, I would talk about like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Street Fighter. And then I would also talk about on PC things like Doom and Wolfenstein, games I don't really enjoy at all, but they're hugely important. And so the rise of first-person shooting games. And then as we move into kind of the 3D, early polygonal 3D games, we'd be talking about Super Mario 64, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro. And then, the evolution of console gaming to include first-person games. So GoldenEye, 007, which would also tie in nicely, as Scooter was pointing out, with couch co-op. So you could have Mario Kart 64, Mario Party, and the like. But around this time, Halo. Oh,
well, hold on to your
Ashes Dashes.
You're being raided.
Welcome on in, Ashes Dashes coming on in. We've got a hashtag Ashes Raid. So good to have you. Kirby the Poyo's here. Kirby's in here. Awesome. Hey, we just beat, the main game. We're going to go back and play the next one in a moment. We're talking a little bit about games here. I'm going to wrap up my last few thoughts, and then I'll get right back to all of you here. But then we'd talk about the evolution of, we're talking about the history, by the way, of video games if we were to teach in a course, and what games we'd choose. So I talk about Halo, and then Microsoft and Sony rising to prominence, and then I would talk about games as
By
experience.
Following this channel, you've
Yay!
accepted all terms and conditions, and may be subjected to singing in any
La la
given
la
moment.
la.
Thanks for joining the Friends of Mana.
Thank you so much. We would talk about the rise of games as service. So we would talk about things like, Fortnite and stuff where you have kind of these subscriptions, and then talk about games as platforms, and especially for artistic expression, such as Minecraft and Roblox. And then we would talk about games as experiences that kind of define some of these things. So a really important one during the pandemic, Animal Crossing New Horizons. So that's kind of how we do that. But look, see, there's always more. Then we didn't really talk about RPGs. We didn't really talk about MMOs, all that good stuff. But hey, thank you so much, Ashes Dashes 777 for that raid. Welcome on in, Rusty Green, Kirby the Poyo. Thank you for that follow. Dad and Cat is here. Thank you so much, Dad and Cat. I really appreciate you, all of you being here. My name is Mana. I'm an E for Everyone variety streamer with a focus on Nintendo, retro on original hardware, and indie titles. Tonight I'm wearing a Goofy shirt. Can't beat that. And we are playing some Kirby, which just to show you that yes, in fact, we do have Kirby up. There we go. Dan Cat snuck in with Ashes. Awesome. It's a Wookiee. It's a Wookiee sweater. It's hold on. It's It's Bigfoot. It's Bigfoot is what it is. Anyway, or DK's brother, actually. That's right. And so yeah. Anyways, if you push select, which I think is the Y button, and then because I'm using the Game Boy player with this, I believe it's the Y button, A and up is what I would need to do. Yeah, I think that'll work. So let's go ahead and we might have to reset this here in a moment. Let's actually reset the game here. It's select A and up. Let's try this real quick. Hold on a second. I'm going to pop this on for a moment so that I can get this going. I'm playing through a RetroTink 2X, by the way, in case you're wondering. All right, and we're going to give this a shot here. Welcome on into the stream. Shout-outs to S707. What were you playing? Curious to know. Hey, Mana, can you check DMs after stream? You kind of sort of maybe forgot to do it last time. I definitely did. Did you see the controller that I linked? You know what? I have it up here, but I didn't look at it. Let's do it real quick. And if you want to pop it down, that'd be cool. Just go ahead and share it again. That's cool. Whoa. Interesting. So it's basically like a hitbox, all the arcade buttons, but then you have a D-pad. Brilliant. And you know what else? I've actually really wanted something like that for PC gaming. Actually, that would be great for PC gaming too. Very cool. Hollow Knight Blind is what Ashes Dashes was playing, as in I've never seen content before playthrough. Tons of fun. Hollow Knight, I've heard great things. I've not played it myself, but I would like to. Extra game. We got the extra game unlocked. Let's do this. So I am actually through the month of December counting down a few of my favorite games. And actually, I'm going to do something real quick if I may here. So let's show you. Fun fact, if you play original Game Boy on a Game Boy Color, you can put in an input to change the sprite colors. Yes, Kirby. Yeah, you know what? And I almost played on the Super Game Boy, which would have provided some great color palettes, but I didn't end up doing that, mostly because there is a bit of slowdown with the Game Boy player. I might do that again at some point. I enjoy the game enough that I wouldn't mind doing that. Let me get a few things set up here. Hold on a second. Sorry here. I wanted to show you that... oops. Sorry, I'm having some issues here doing what I'm trying to do. There we go. Okay. So I wanted to show you. So this is how I'm counting down a few of my favorite games here. So this is the sort of Advent calendar approach. If you're not familiar with an Advent calendar, the season of Advent is a time of preparation for Christmas, and traditionally there is a sort of calendar involved, which is used to count down the days during the season of Advent to Christmas, and it sometimes has little scripture quotes inside, maybe some chocolates or little prizes, little trinkets and things like that. And I think it's just a really fun tradition. And of course, and I am myself religious and really appreciate my faith, and so it's this preparation for the season of Christmas, and the celebration of Christ being born in the world, Jesus Christ being born in the world, time of joy and light, and so kind of just in honor of that too, in a small part, just that joy through art, artistic expression. Some of my favorite games I'm playing. So we're doing 10 games leading up, and I'm revealing them like this. And so you'll see that I also have, so there you go, the first one revealed, right? That was the first game that we played this week. And then, of course, we have Kirby. So we're kind of opening up these little tabs, and that's it. So it's basically it's not my favorite games of all time, but it's a few of my favorite games, right? And I'm going to be doing this, I think, continuing to do this year after year in December. This is actually going into my 6th year streaming, and I really like the idea. So we're going to be kind of sticking with that. So anyway, I just thought I would share that really quickly. But you have to run, no problem, Ashes Dashes. It was really great to have you come in and hop on in. Thank you so much, Ashes Dashes. If anyone would like to just take a moment and share a little bit more about Ashes Dashes stream, why you like hanging out with Ashes Dashes, that'd be awesome. I confess I'm not super familiar. I'm going to pull up Ashes Dashes about page and whatnot here in a second. And it says here, I am a small YouTuber in Minnesota who likes to post videos just for fun. If I'm going to stream, though, I do it on Twitch. I stream twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays. Also, I like kombucha. Fun. I'm going to check out the VOD there. I'll leave that up for now and check that out later. But thank you so much. Kirby says, you said 6th year. I heard 60th year. That's funny. Yeah, not 60th year. That'd be impressive, is what that would be. But yeah, no problem, Ashes. Have a wonderful rest of your night. Kirby was originally a detective in a comic before, Kirby says. Really? If I were to knock on every house in Minnesota, I would eventually find Ashes, Weasling says. Oh, look at that. There we got little chickens now. This is a new one. Oh, see, look at that. New pattern. Twice as much damage. Anyway, can't get rid of those, see? New enemies. New enemy sprites. How long would that take? Weez says. Ashes says, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. And you're welcome to shout yourself out, Ashes, and share a little bit more about you, what people you'd want what you'd want people to know, that kind of stuff. Love getting to know new streamers and whatnot. I enjoy Ashes. Dad and Cat says we're both fans of some family-friendly streamers. Name The Basement, and I'll watch anybody play Hollow Knight. Nice. Oh, nice. Memory Martin's pointing out that some of the games nominated in the Game Awards were on sale, including some of the Ori games, which would be really a good thing to check out for sure. And hint, hint. Is Dan Cat, are you asking me to play Hollow Knight, or are you telling me I should check out The Basement? I might have to check out The Basement as well. Let's do this. I'm going to check out that streamer there. Twitch.tv/The Basement. We'll check that out as well. Ashley says, thanks for checking me out. Dude, I must warn you, the first hour of my stream is me struggling with a boss. You know what? Hey, look at this. Look, there's a pause idle animation. I don't know that I knew that. Look at this. Friends, did you know that? I didn't know that. Kirby's doing a little jig. Wait, since when was this a thing? Anyway. Hollow Knight mostly, but the second is definitely worth a follow for you, Dad and Cat says. All right, well, I'm going to check out both. Thank you so much. I did not know this was a thing. I'm learning something here. That's cool. All the time I played this, I didn't know it. But Ashes, I've been there before. And believe me, people on this channel know I can spend quite a long time doing not a whole lot of anything. I love games. I make no pretense that I'm actually good at them. So, yeah. Only the second Ori game is on sale, by the way, Memory Martin says, which is fine because that's actually the one that I don't have, so no worries. I don't think we're going to beat this, by the way. Oh, gosh. See new patterns. I'm pretty sure I've beaten it once, but only once. I tend to just play the original here. I think I got to, like... Oh, I do remember this. I remember... Yep, I remember... I remember this being incredibly frustrating because you have to... yeah, just trying to get a bomb to use. Oh, yeah, right? Like that. There we go, finally. Oh, man. And there we go. This is the whole other thing. And so what is this new game anyway, Weaslink says? So this is actually an sort of... new game plus, if you will. If you're familiar with in Zelda, second quests and the like, or even the original Mario. This was a very common thing in the 8-bit era, as a way to pad a game. Once you've beat it, hey, look, you can play it again, but with higher difficulty. And I've always thought it was rather interesting because these games were so difficult. You could get so many hours of playtime just in the first version of the game. Kirby maybe being somewhat of an exception. The first version of Kirby is not that hard. But you could do that, and then it's like, well, I got my money's worth, but still, they would actually spend the time to create a second quest. I think that's pretty neat. Kirby is a series I was mentioning before that I really appreciate because it has a real low threshold for entry, and yet it does have challenges. And, I was telling you at the top of the hour here how the first game doesn't have the copy mechanic, which takes away a lot of the complexity and depth of the game, and it becomes more of a standard platform progression, not necessarily platforming like navigating, but navigating platforms and pits because you can fly, but navigating through waves of enemies. And that's contrary to the later games where you're actually problem solving and puzzle solving through the use of the copy abilities. This is more of a straight platformer. This extra game, I forgot. Yeah, this is actually quite a challenging little addition and kind of neat, actually. I remember now. It's all coming back to me, I forget sometimes that there is this more complicated extra game. But once I'm encountering some of the enemies and stuff like there, it's all coming back. And those enemies, I believe, right, from Kirby, but you can find them in Zelda Link's Awakening. Anyway, I do like playing on original hardware, by the way, in case you are new around here. So I am playing this on the original game cartridge using the Game Boy player on GameCube. And you certainly could do this a few other ways. It would be fun to use or showcase some of the things through Super Nintendo with the various colors. But there we go, got a game over. I think continue would start us at the beginning of the level. Let's just see here. Duncan says I need to finish Ori and WOTW. Whisper of the Wild. I don't know. I started on my old light and the screen was so small to see stuff. May Martin says, same, I need to play them both on my channel. The Ori games. Same with Super Mario Land 2. Wee says, isn't the whole reason why older games were so hard was because the creators were used to making them coin eaters in arcades? I think that there's some validity to... Will of the Wisps, Martin, thank you. I think there's some validity to that remark. I do. However, I wouldn't say that's the only reason, because the reason that arcades were trying to, be coin munchers, of course, was you only have these devices. You only have so many people that can be playing at once, so you don't want it to be too easy and whatnot, or else people aren't going to be, playing them. You're not going to be getting a lot of players playing them and then a lot of money or revenue. It would just, not really work. Early game ports from the arcade often, would use then like continues and stuff like that. Limited continues, so you have to really get good at the game. But actually, I think that I'm pretty sure that, once we start getting into the Super Mario Brothers and the like, that's when we started to see that games were being developed with without that mindset. Super Mario Brothers is not a quarter muncher, but still the whole idea of lives and whatnot was because there had to be some kind of challenge, and with only so much challenge you could put in a game because of limitations of hardware, difficulty, I think, was one of the few things people were familiar with and knew how to utilize. But as games developed, exploration became a bigger part. So even take this game as an example. Now that I'm playing the more challenging version, this was how they added depth to the game. But in later games, it's the puzzles in the platforming. Now, I actually chose this game, I think, really particularly because I prefer straight platforming with less puzzle elements. I don't dislike puzzle elements, but I prefer the skill-based platforming. Donkey Kong Country being a good example. Even though there are secrets you can get that are puzzle-based, the actual game itself can be beat without those. It's more about the skill. Later Kirby games have a lot of areas that are secret, but some areas that are required for you to problem solve through based on the copy abilities that you have. So when games became less about difficulty and more about difficulty through, just straight platforming, and more about difficulty through puzzle solving and whatnot, it really lent itself to the collectathon games and games like Super Mario 64, which, it's platforming, but the difficulty there is about navigation to find things. So there's puzzling in that because it's not linear. That's why I love a 2D side-scrolling platforming game without puzzle elements. It's all about navigation through challenges, more of a skill is not the right word, but it's more about the fine mechanics, and it's about movement rather than about stopping and thinking through a puzzle. And in Mario Maker, I prefer the platforming type of things. Have I played Tropical Freeze? Dan Cat, I have, and I love Tropical Freeze. Donkey Kong Country Returns is actually such a good game, but I think Tropical Freeze really did improve in every way, to be honest. What is really a fantastic game. So much going on here. So much going on. I know you're playing Kirby right now. What if you got the Kirby Automaton? You know what? Yes. 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 Oops, I hit the wrong thing. Yes. We got to get the Kirby Automaton. Hold on, everybody. We can get that out. We're going to get a Kirby Automaton. All right. Oh my gosh, I'm super excited about this. Okay, thanks for the suggestion there. Let's get the Kirby Automaton. I think a few of you are going to like this. This is my friend Kirby. Okay. And Kirby, here we go. Kirby the Automaton. Hello. Kirby sounds a little like this. So you can see there's quite a variety of things you can do with it. I don't know why everything froze. Hold on. What happened? Oh, gosh. Are we okay? There we go. I don't know what happened there. It was too awesome. Twitch froze. I'm just messing around right now. It's so hard to like actually do something really nice. Let's see here. There we go. That is my Kirby automaton right there, everybody. Namus's request. Oh, Jingle Bells. Good idea. Ah. It's finding the note homes the positioning. That's the tricky part, right? Oh, have yourself a merry. I was trying to. I can't. I'm trying to sing and do this. Anyway, that's a thing. I've lost every viewer here just because I've showed off the automaton. It's a thing. It's cool. I'm gonna get better at it. Mana Sprout loves it. By the way, in case you don't know and you're new around here, I am a husband and father. And so Ms. Mana and Mana Sprout are in the other room probably going, why is he playing the automaton at 9 o'clock at night? Anyway. All right. Yep. Dan Cat, thanks for the suggestion for Jingle Bells. That's a good one. All right. By the way, I'm not going to say too much, but this is actually a thing here that is going to be coming. You're going to see some evolution. I'm excited. That's going to be coming soon. It's a project that had to actually get stored for a bit while other things came up, like leaking electrical boxes and hot water tanks. But anyway, there we go. It's a thing, Nemu says. If it wasn't midnight, I'd sing that song with you, Mary Martin says. Oh, that'd be fun. So let's go ahead and play a little more. I think next game over, we'll just call it good. I mean, look how much more intense this is right here, right? Oh yeah, I forgot. There's like these little skulls. I mean, this is intense. It's intense. It's a project of mana, Namus. Yep. Oh gosh, they are going all out here. Look at this. And he's like, yep. There we go. And do that for you. Come on, buddy. You're not gonna wait. Oh, you ain't getting in the way that easy. Ah! Oh no, Namus. All right. Yeah. Oh, Mary Martin says, no joke, I want to do an official cover of the Whole New World. That would be pretty fun. Actually, you missed it in the Aladdin stream. So the first couple of games I included in my few of my favorite games stream were actually the game Hook for the Super Nintendo, and then Aladdin for the Super Nintendo. And when we got to the Magic Carpet Ride, we did indeed sing all the way through and all the lyrics. It was actually pretty fun, I think. But that would be super fun. Yeah, that Sky stream, that was good. That was fun. Nice collaboration there. We could totally do something like that. It would not be too difficult. A whole new world. A whole new world. A whole new world. Not where I need to be. Gosh. This is just... Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm going to blame the controller a little bit on this, just because this D-pad is not great for this. I actually should have used the Game Boy Advance. That would have probably been pretty good, but oh well. They do so much damage right there. There's our game over, my friends. So I think we're going to call it right there. I really enjoyed this stream and hanging out with you. And if you enjoyed this stream, please do consider following. And I am on Twitter and YouTube. I do have a Discord. If Memory Martin would like to share a link to that, you're welcome to join. And so we're gonna hop in and do a little bit of just some chatting here. So let's go ahead and do that for a moment. Snap that finger there. And so what if we did a funny VR game? But I don't have a VR headset. That's the problem. Dan Cat says, all right, have a good night. Gonna be responsible-ish. It's good. You go be responsible-ish. I like it. I'm gonna go check and see who is playing what right now. Let's take a look. There we go. Oops, hold on. Oh boy. Come on. My mouse is not wanting to cooperate here. There we go. Okay. So right now, there is nobody on Club Tortimer that is currently streaming. And boy, this music is going to get old fast, isn't it? It's all right. We can actually... There we go. We can call it there. Let me just take a look here, and it looks like on Family Friendly Live, we've got Seth Haskell. Let's go raid Seth. Seth is going to be a great one to raid, so that's what we're going to do here. So let's go ahead and get that going here, my friends. Okay. I don't know what they are currently streaming, but we'll find out. So basically what I mean is if there's a game called VR Hands in VR and non-VR players can join all inside of Roblox. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, Hrothgar. Do I know Hrothgar Gaming? Is Hrothgar like from Beowulf? I don't, Dad and Cat. Should I know them as well? I'm going to go ahead. Look, I love this. I'm learning all kinds of new people from Dad and Cat. Dad and Cat, we're going to definitely have to talk more so that I can learn all about these folks that you recommend. Maybe we can do a little networking, as they say, you know, but I just want to meet some new people. So that would be super cool. So my friends, yeah, thank you so much. I'm really looking forward. Seth Haskell is a family-friendly streamer and friend of mine. He's a great retro streamer, someone definitely worth your time. He is streaming tonight. We're going to go and find out what he's streaming. We're going to do a Mana Splash raid, which is how I typically do this. And we use the emotes here, Mana Splash raid, sending some love and positivity and some mana potions so that folks can do their best in their streams. So my friends, thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you so much to Animate Barrel for the bits. Thanks for the raid. Thanks for the follow. Kirby, it's nice to have you here. Ashes, thanks for the raid. Namus, thanks for the resub. Do good, be well, stay safe and healthy. And I'll catch you next time. Good night. Have a good one. Bye-bye.